at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Hillary Clinton being back in the news, talking about extreme MAGA Republicans yet again. Now, she's saying that if you are a Trump supporter or you are MAGA, whatever that may be, whatever they think it is, you may need to go to a re-education camp. Now, this is pretty scary. This is kind of giving me vibes of communist China, Russia, etc. I don't want to go to education camp. I'm not trying to get locked up like the Uyghurs. I'm not trying to get put on the train like the Uyghurs and then get forcefully decultured and deprogrammed. Okay, at a certain point now you violated my human rights. We got quite a bit of that going on in the government as it is. Let's not have more of it. And I think if you vote for people that align with her, they may push for the very same thing. So this is not a good thing at all. Now, before I go any further into it, let's go ahead and just roll the clip. If you want to see it in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
So when you look at how to go forward for the country, as you say, is there any area of coalition building that could happen? There are pragmatic Republicans, as you say.
Now, you got to pardon me because I got to pause it at certain times. It's like a 5-minute clip, and if I don't pause it at certain times, they're going to try to get me with the copyright. But let's keep on going.
Could there be a whole new way of trying to, get legislation going and cross-party governance going by Democrats and certain Republicans forming a coalition?
Well, you saw the number of Republicans who voted along with Democrats to keep the government open. So there's clearly a common sense, sane part of the Republican caucus in the House. But I think they are in.
Can I just pause for a minute? Why is Hillary Clinton talking? Why is she still this person that has relevance? I guess because of Slit Willie, and she was in government for a long time. I guess she still has to speak. So that's why she's getting this big platform. And the reason why I'm covering it is because people are going to watch. People are going to watch. They're going to pay her attention, although she should not really be paid too much attention to. And why is she always doing the talking and never really Slit Willie? Slit Willie don't do too much talking at all. She is like the hatchet person.
Intimidated. They oftentimes, say and do things which they know better than to say or do. And it will require us defeating those most extreme measures and the people who promote them in order to try to get to some common ground.
What is an extreme measure? What is an extreme measure? Because, these people on the left, they always talk about the right being full of extremists, but extremism is not a partisan thing. You have extremists all over the place, and really you're going to see them more on the left, in my humble opinion. Abortion up until the point of birth, that type of thing happens on the left a lot. Non-binary, transgender, a lot of that is leftist stuff. It's not a conservative thing. Let's keep on going.
Where people can, again, work together. That's the way it used to be. I mean, we had very strong partisans in both parties in the past, and we had very bitter battles over all kinds of things, gun control and climate change and the economy and taxes. But there wasn't this little tail of extremism wagging the dog of the Republican Party as it is today. And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists.
Here we go. You know what? And I'm going to pause it right here because I've said this before. The left uses this kind of language to describe conservative people. MAGA, extreme MAGA, because they understand the general public will be able to understand what they're talking about. They'll be able to pick up on the terminology. But then when they don't want you to really understand something, they'll use more complicated, lawyery, evasive language. So you just won't really understand what they're saying. But they'll use simple language when they want you to grasp what they're talking about. And in the simple language, there's a lot of deception going on. But I digress.
Take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him?
Just because somebody is being accused of a crime does not mean that they are guilty. And there is a thing called prosecutorial misconduct where people are being brought up on charges because that's a way to try and defeat them in an election or to try and have them so bogged down with legal action that they can't run an effective campaign. So when you're talking about, oh, he's being charged with X, Y, and Z, why does that really matter when it comes to him and his message? It doesn't really matter, in my humble opinion. Maybe it matters to people like her, but not to everyone else. And just because it doesn't matter to me does not mean that I'm wrong. It's my opinion. She has hers and I have mine. Let's keep on rocking.
You know, because at some point, you know, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, but something needs to happen.
And how do you do that? Because you said you have to defeat them by defeating their leader. Their leader
Right.
is Donald Trump. Even you have said that you expect him to be the Republican nominee. How does this change at all?
So how do you deprogram us? You're going to put us on the train, like I said in the beginning, like the Uyghurs in China? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to do some kind of communist Russia, China type action with us? Is that what's going to happen? I tell you what, I'm going to tell you right now, Miss Clinton, I am not boarding the train. I'm not going to do it. So good luck with that, ma'am.
At this point, I think, sadly, he will still likely be the nominee, and we have to defeat him. And we have to defeat those who are the election deniers, as we did in 2020 and 20.
Election deniers, you said in 2016 that Trump was the illegitimate president. Russia got him in. You won, all this and that and the third. So, I mean, pot meets kettle. Like, what are we talking about? You are an election denier. Like, questioning the results of an election is not a conservative thing. It's not a Donald Trump thing. This is a thing that happens left and right, national, local, everywhere. But because Trump wants to question it, then it becomes extreme MAGA Republican, Donald Trump, Trump supporter, racist, white supremacist. That's what it becomes when he does it. But when you do it, it's totally fine. You're justified. You feel like you have righteous indignation.
2022. And we have to, you know, just be smarter about how we are trying to empower the right people inside the Republican Party.
Empower the right people. Who are you to determine who is the right person or not in the Republican Party? A Democrat, a far left Democrat like Hillary Clinton would just want to have those in there who support Democrat ideals. That would be the so-called right people in the Republican Party from her point of view.
You know, Nancy Pelosi had a majority of 5 votes when she was Speaker. Kevin McCarthy had a majority of 5 votes. Nancy Pelosi passed consequential legislation. And she clearly had members within her caucus who, you know, ranged across a spectrum of political beliefs and ideology. And she kept everybody together. And she kept everybody focused on the future. Mm-hmm. He couldn't do that. And so he paid a price, but more importantly, the country paid a price.
And so when you see another matchup between potentially Trump and President Biden, what goes through your mind? And particularly, how do you process that this person who defeated you back in 2016?
She ain't gonna like that because she said back then that she didn't lose, that she didn't get defeated. Let's see if she doubles down on that or she tries to shy away from it right now.
Is still at it, given all that you've said, 91 indictments, you know, civil fraud, sexual transgressions according to the courts. How is this still happening?
It's the classic tale of an authoritarian populist who really has a grip on the emotional, psychological needs and desires of a portion of the population.
Now, let's translate that. Maybe Donald Trump understands what the common man in America is feeling, what they're desiring, and their vision for the country going forward. Maybe he understands his constituents, which is what you're supposed to do as a politician. Not just do whatever you want to do, but you got to hear your constituents and serve them. That's the purpose of being a politician, not to serve yourself.
And the base of the Republican Party, for whatever combination of reasons, and it is emotional and psychological, sees in him someone who speaks for them. And they are determined that they will continue to vote for him, attend his rallies, wear his merchandise, because for whatever reason, he and his very negative.
You sound like a hater right now. Talking about the merchandise and the rally. You sound like a hater right now. Maybe you wish you could have the rallies and the merchandise as well and have that excitement behind you. Maybe you would have been able to succeed in 2016, but you did not. Also, you lost in 2008, and you were the one that started the whole birther rumor about Barack Obama in the primary. I remember that very well because at the time I was a Barack Obama supporter, back when I was a young, dumb man, 24 years old, voting for Barack Obama. Okay, you started that rumor, but let's let you continue.
Nasty form of politics resonates with them. Maybe they don't like migrants. Maybe they don't like gay people or black people or the woman.
Whoa. Really? So Trump is a guy that says he doesn't like black people and gays and migrants. Is that what it is? Oh, man. See, this is just gaslighting right here. This is gaslighting.
Promotion at work they didn't get. Whatever the reason, Make America Great Again was a bid for nostalgia, to return to a place where, people could be in charge of their lives, feel empowered, say what they want, insult whoever came in their way. And that was really attractive to a significant portion of the Republican base.
Basically, what you want to say is, racist white people, racist white men, middle America, they loved it. But what you don't know is that people like myself loved it as well. It's not a race or gender or anything specific thing. A lot of Americans liked it. What she's doing right now is trying to divide and conquer, put us in little boxes and put us against each other. But the whole thing that I got from Trump's message was unity. All Americans, regardless of what color you are, whatever, we all are American citizens. That's the main thing. And we don't want people coming here illegally, doing whatever we want, breaking the law. Law and order got to be the way that we go forward. If we don't have that, then we don't have a country. It's quite simple.
So it is like a cult, and somebody has to break the, break that momentum, and that's why I believe Joe Biden will defeat him, and hopefully then that will be the end, and the fever will break, and then Republicans can try to get back to, fighting about issues among themselves and electing people who are at least, responsible and accountable.
All right, so there you go. That's Hillary Clinton talking about MAGA is a cult, all this, that, and the third. As I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Donald Trump. Hopefully he wins. Joe Biden, they're going to put their faith in Joe Biden. Really, this man is decrepit as decrepit can be. I don't really see that happening. The Democrats don't have faith in Joe Biden either, which is why they're doing all this court action. They're doing all this stuff like Hillary Clinton going on television, basically campaigning for Joe Biden. They have no confidence in him. They know he needs all the help that he can get, is why they're doing stuff like this. Very simple, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what Hillary Clinton said here? Do you think MAGA is a cult and we got to get reprogrammed and sent to some camp somewhere, put on their train like the Uyghurs in China? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. If a lot of Democrats could do a thing like this, a re-education camp, they would. And what they want to do is brainwash us to think whatever they think, which is really what K through 12 education is nowadays, especially public school, but sometimes even the private school. I've seen some private Catholic schools get involved in the LGBTQ elemental P nonsense. That is where they want to brainwash us to have us be right there on their plantation. I'm not for it, not at all. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.